See How They Run is a new murder mystery movie out on Disney Plus and stars Sam Rockwell and Saoirse Ronan, and I'm very excited to give you guys my review for this movie. If you've seen it, be sure to leave a comment what you thought about it. As well, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Now let's get into this review. So this movie is a murder mystery taking place in London in the 1950s, and I had quite a bit of fun with this movie. It's just a small movie, it's not particularly big, and it sort of went under my radar a little bit. I just saw it when I was scrolling through movies on Disney Plus, and I had fun with it. The cast was great in this. It's full of great actors. Sam Rockwell and Saoirse Ronan work very well together, with Sam Rockwell being this more like seasoned detective, and Saoirse Ronan's character being more of a rookie. I thought they worked very well together, and Saoirse Ronan really stood out for me in this movie. She was probably my favorite part of this movie. Her performance was great, but I thought those two actors together did a really great job, and there's certainly some good laughs in this movie too. There's definitely funny moments. All the performances across the board I thought were great, and the characters for the most part were pretty good. Most of them weren't too fleshed out, but the actors did a good job of making them feel unique. And in this movie, Adrien Brody plays a director who is from America, who's going to be turning a play into a movie, and he has disagreements with people about how to go about that. He wants to change things for the screen rather than what's on the stage. And at the start of the movie, his character is the one that's the first to get murdered, and that sort of sets everything else in motion. The flashback scenes with him I thought were a lot of fun with Adrien Brody's character. There's a lot of really fun flashback scenes. And I thought for the most part this movie did a good job with its twists. There was a very big twist in the second half of this movie. I won't go into depth about it, but it's sort of a twist, sort of not. You'll sort of know what I mean once you see it, but it turned out to be quite funny, I thought. And it did lead to some character tension a bit between the two leads, which wasn't resolved too well in my opinion, but I'll get to that in a little bit. But there's twists like that which are fun. There's definitely times where I wasn't quite sure where they were going with, who is the murderer, and I'm somebody who's not usually great of predicting things in movies and being accurate. This movie, I thought, for the most part, did a good job of sort of keeping me on my toes, not sure who was the murderer, where the movie was going to go, that sort of thing. For the most part, this movie did do quite a good job with that. It was more in the third act, at the end of the movie, where it started to lose me a bit. It started to become a bit more predictable for me, whereas the rest of the movie, for the most part, I wasn't seeing where things were going. But in the end, it started to get like I could predict what was going to happen. And as I mentioned, there was a sort of twist, and it caused tension and problems with the two leads. And they sort of resolve it in the third act at the end of the movie. But first of all, what was setting up to happen there was one of those things that was very predictable, because it's sort of kind of foreshadowed earlier in the movie. Won't say what it was, but you'll probably know it when you see it. And sort of the resolve of that situation with those two characters was very rushed. It was coming, but they just really rushed it. This end of the movie kind of felt rushed, they're like, okay, this movie can't be too long, we need to wrap it up. That was one of my issues with this, as well as the actual reveal of the murderer and why they're doing what they're doing. It made sense, but it just sort of, I don't know, fell flat a little bit. It wasn't a bad idea, it was just okay, I guess the way they went about it, just presenting it, wasn't too interesting. Again, it was they're kind of rushing that third act, I felt. So that was sort of yeah, okay, yeah, I see why they'd be the murderer. Didn't guess it, but I don't know, the execution of that, just the final part of the final act, wasn't great. But the rest of the movie was quite a bit of fun. It's not a particularly memorable movie compared to some other murder mysteries like Knives Out, but it was just a fun watch, a fun movie to watch at night. So I quite enjoyed it. I would give this movie a 75% I enjoyed it. Like I said, I have some issues with the third act, and overall it's not too memorable, but I had fun with this movie. So guys, if you have seen it, be sure to let me know what you thought of this movie. As well, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and be sure to stay tuned for some more reviews coming very shortly. I'm going to have my review for Black Panther Wakanda Forever coming up very soon, I hope. So stay tuned for that, and until my next video, take care everybody.